So Lily was just telling Rosalind how August knew about her mom, and Rosalind looked dumbfounded. So now Lily's explaining. So, chapter 13, this is part 2. She knew my mother back when she was a little girl in Virginia, I explained. August helped raise her. I waited a few seconds, letting it soak in. This is where my mother came when she left, when Mrs. Watson took care of me, I said. She came right here to this house. Rosalind's eyes grew even narrower, if such a thing was possible. Your mother? She said, then stopped. I could see that her brain was struggling to fit it all together. My mother leaving, Mrs. Watson watching me, my mother returning, only to get killed. My mother stayed here 3 months before she went back to Sylvan, I said. I guess one day it finally dawned on her. Oh yeah, that's right, I've got a little girl at home. Gee, maybe I'll go back and get her now. I heard the bitter tone in my voice, and it came to me how I could lock that tone into my voice forever. From now on, every time I thought of my mother, I could so easy slip off into a cold place where meanness took over. I squeezed the shell and felt it dig into the pad of the skin on my palm. Rosalind got to her feet. I looked at her, how large she was in the little bathroom. I stood up too, and for a second we were sandwiched together between the tub and the toilet, staring at each other. I wish you'd told me what you knew about my mother, I said. How come you didn't? Oh, Lily, she said, and there was a gentleness in her words, like they'd been rocked in a little hammock of tenderness down in her throat. Why would I go and hurt you with something like that? Rosalind walked beside me to the honey house with a mop flung over her shoulder and a spatula in her hand. I carried a bucket of rags and the spick and span. We used the spatula to scrape honey off places you wouldn't believe. Some of it had gotten all the way over to August's adding machine. We wiped off all the floors and all the walls, then went to work on Our Lady. We picked the place up and turned it back the way it was, and the entire time we didn't speak a word. I worked with heaviness inside, with my spirit emptied out. There was my breath curling in hard puffs from my nostrils. There was Rosalind's heart so full toward me it broke through into her sweating face. There was Our Lady talking with her eyes, saying things I could not make out. And there was nothing else. We'll pause here.